Being recorded. All right. Good evening once again, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. It's day 4 of our Microsoft Excel for Beginners live sessions, and thank you for everyone who's been here from the first day. And yeah, after today, we have 2 more days to go, and then we'll wrap up this. All right. Without wasting much time, I'm going to go to the agenda for today. Today we are going to be looking at 4 things: sorting and filtering data, advanced data filtering, conditional formatting, and data validation. Yeah, I just to be sure, can someone confirm they can hear me? So, and that you can see my screen as well. So I can just leave a chat if you cannot mute. I'm breaking. Oh, sorry. Not sure why that is the case. Please confirm you can hear me clearly now. My network seems fine. Thank you very much for that confirmation. Before we go on, I would like to know if there's anyone that has any questions, probably from the last few classes we've had. Over the past weeks, we've spoken about different things. We looked at different things. Let me just let's see what we've had a chance to look at over the past 4 weeks. So just a second. In the course outline, so we looked at from the beginning, we introduced Microsoft Excel. We looked at the interface. In the second week, we did some basic visualizations. Last week, we looked at logical functions, and then we did a bit of pivot charts, and pivot tables. So today, we've already covered this. I think that was 2 weeks ago, referencing. But if you need me to go over them, please just kindly indicate. I'll be happy to do that. So today we are going to be looking at sorting data, filtering data, and validation and conditional formatting. And I hope it's going to be worth your time. All right. Confirm you can see my screen, please. Just so I'm sure. You can see the spreadsheet I have on now. Okay, so let's start with sorting. So what does sort mean? In layman term, to sort anything is just to arrange them in a particular sequence. So it doesn't matter what the sequence is, as long as there is a logic to that sequence, then that means it's sorted, right? As long as there is a logic. When I mean logic, you can say, okay, so this thing is arranged according to this and this and this. So that's basically what a sort function does, or a sort data sorting. That is what it does. And how do you sort data in Microsoft Excel? Typically, when you are sorting, there's a criteria, there's something you are trying to look at. So let's say, for instance, you're like analyzing scores for students, and you need to know, okay, so which student scored the highest or which student scored the lowest. For you to be able to do that kind of thing, sort is one of the easiest things to do that makes you arrange, do that sort of arrangement. And then sort doesn't necessarily have to be from the highest to the biggest, or from the highest to the smallest, or from the smallest to the biggest. It could also be alphabetically. Growing up, we all learned ABCD. That's sort of like the first introduction we had to sorting. We learned to recite A to Z, and then when we see words, even without being conscious of it, we kind of know, okay, this word starts with A, this word starts with Z, this word starts with E, and the like. So in a way, we all sort of do sorting every day. So if you see two siblings, for instance, one of the first things you want to see, you want to try to figure out is, oh, who is older, who is younger. That's sorting. So all these things, we do them in our day-to-day lives, and then data is not very much different. And that's one of the things I love about the fact that when you work with data, you really are dealing with your day-to-day, the things you can relate with day after day. So with sorting, so what we are going to try to do is, we have a small table here, we have a data table here, and we are going to sort based on different things, right? We're going to first sort by date. I think it's even already sorted by date. So if you look at, no, it's not. So if you look at the table, you would see that there's 17th November here, and then you can see 9th November. So that means that 9th November, which is an earlier date, is coming after 17th November. So what we are going to first try to do is sort this table by the dates, right? And then another thing we can look at is, okay, so let's sort this by department. So let's say we are interested in knowing how many tasks are in different departments. We can say that, okay, let's sort by department. In the same way, you can sort by tasks. So, but now the difference between when you sort something like dates or when you sort something like department or task is that one is sorted as a number, one is sorted as alphabets. So you see here too, there's duration, days, there's status, there's cost. So we're going to start with sorting by the dates, right? So I'm going to highlight the entire column. To sort in Microsoft Excel, of course, it's a data, what is it called? It's a data calculation. So you see when you go to the data ribbon, you see the sort and filter group. The next thing we are going to do is the filter, and then you see sort, right? The moment I click on this, there's a dialog box that comes up, and then you can see sort. Now, there are a couple of things for you to take note of here. There's add level, there's delete level, there's copy level. Basically, what that means is when you have a particular data set, you can sort by very many different criteria. So let's say, for instance, you first of all want to sort by department, and then you want to sort by task, or you want to sort by date first, then you want to sort by the duration, right? And then you want to maybe sort by status. So what we are going to do is we are going to sort by date. Now, it's important that you can see there's a checkbox here that I have chosen my data as headers. Basically, what that means is the first column, the first row in each column, right? Don't treat it as part of my data. Treat it as a header, meaning that it's giving context to the data in that column. So I've checked these, and then you can see sort by date. So I'm going to first of all sort by date. Then you can see sort on. You can see different things. You can sort by value, you can see it by color, by font color, and conditional formatting. Then you can see the order, so which is like the most important one, newest to oldest. So one is sort from oldest to newest. Someone is asking if there's a way I can widen my screen. Is it that it's too tiny, or I should make it, if that's what you mean? So let me try and increase the font. Maybe that would help. Is that what you mean? Chika, please unmute.
Yeah, so what I mean is, if you can make it a full screen, because it's quite tiny for me to capture.
Okay, so let me see what
I'm trying to see if I can hold the screen on my phone, but it's quite tiny.
Does this make much sense? Are you using your phone?
Sorry?
Yeah. Sorry? Are you using your phone? Maybe that's...
Yeah, I'm using my phone because I don't, yeah, maybe I should try my laptop.
Okay, so does this look better? So I've switched off the ribbons so that it looks bigger. But if you can probably switch to your laptop, that will make the work a lot easier for you to do. But if we can't at the moment, we can also continue like this. Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. So as I was saying, so now we're going to sort. So I had to cancel that because, and then to sort, you go to the data ribbon, then you see sort, which brings up a dialog box, and then sort by. So we are going to sort first of all by the department. Let's sort first of all by the department. Let's arrange the department according to alphabetical order. Then we're going to add a level. Then we'll sort by date. So let's say we want to sort by from the oldest project to the newest project, and then we want to sort by duration. Now, smallest to largest, this can also be largest to smallest. So let's say we want to sort it by smallest, largest to smallest. So the moment I click on OK, you would see that my data has automatically been rearranged. Now, you see customer support is coming first because the letter C is the first letter of the alphabet, of course. And then within customer support, you can now see that it has sorted by dates. Now, you see 23 November, and then 29th November. Then because it has sorted by date, it will no longer sort by duration, because that would already have taken care of the sorting by date would already have taken care of this duration. So if we had sorted by duration before sorting by date, what will happen is this 20 would have been up, 15 would have been down, right? Is this clear? Does that make sense? Please, if you can unmute, you can just leave a chat.
Do you mind telling me how to get this followed in my laptop?
What? Sorry, you're breaking up. I'm trying to, let me see. What did you say? I didn't get that. So I would also sorry, I forgot to share the link to the notebook. So I'm going to share that now so that you can follow along. How do you join? Just so click on the link, the same link you used to join earlier is the same link you used to join. Just click on it from anywhere, or just type this link in your browser. You would be able to join. So that's the link. I'm sharing the link also on the chat. So, all right. So now that we've sorted, we're going to see. So let's now attempt to do what is called filtering. Now, with filtering in Microsoft Excel, there are basically two ways to go about filtering. There is a basic filtering, and then there's the advanced filtering. We're going to look at both of them. And again, like I always say, if you feel there's something that you don't understand, take me back. I'm happy to, explain myself again. So yeah, we're going to first look at the filter. So now let's say for some reason I have a lot of data set and I'm only interested in seeing a particular smaller part of my data. Then filters come to mind. So I don't want to see 100,000 columns, 100,000 rows of data. 100,000 rows of data. I'm only interested in seeing a particular segment. So let's say I'm a project manager and I want to see, okay, so of all these projects, which of them have been completed? I want to see which only projects that have been completed. Then I'm going to have to use the filter function or the filter calculation, filtering on my data. So now if it's the same ribbon, data, sort and filter, and then you see filter. Now, the moment you click on filter, you would see that these headers, they carry like an arrow, right? And that arrow is called the quick filter arrow. So it basically helps you to do quick filters, right? Or basic filters. It does it typically in place. So there is now another way you can access it is in the home tab. So let's say it wasn't here before. So instead of going to the data route, so data filter, you can use the same. You can do the same thing in home. Editing, that's sort and filter. So sort and filter allows you to do sort and filter right from your home tab. Now I can do filter, right? And then I'm interested in only completed projects. So you can see the moment I click on this arrow, you see it's all the options, all the options for status, for project status. They've been highlighted for me. Now all I need to do now is just do an unselect all. So I unclick the select all box, and then I click completed, which is the only data set I'm interested in. Now, the moment I do that, you can see that Excel automatically hides other parts of my data. And then if you look to the left, bottom left, you would see ready. Now, if this was a very big table, this might take some time to work. It might take some time for it to be visualized. And then you'll see something here. There is a filter applied on this sheet, 3 of 19 records found. Basically, what this means is that 3 out of, so there are 19 records in this data set, and only 3 out of them match this completed status. Of course, I can also further filter. I can filter on more than one, with more than one criteria. Let's say now I'm also interested in maybe only one particular location. Let's say Bath. And then I click OK. And then you see only one. Now, how do you know which cells you filtered? You see that there's like a funnel on the filter button. So this funnel here shows that filters are active. So status equals completed, and then your location equals Bath. Now, you don't necessarily also have to filter this way. You can filter using text. So there are text filters as well. I'm going to show you an instance of how that works. So let's say, for instance, I want to, so you can see when I click this, there's an opportunity to also filter using text. Or let's say for this cost, for instance, I want to filter number filters. Let's say I'm interested in only projects that are less than maybe 200 pounds. So I can easily click on number filters, less than or equal to 200 pounds. And then this allows you now combine logic. So you can do and or, that's logical. So if I do is less than or equal to, you can see that my data has been reduced to only those that have costs less than 200. Are we clear? Does this make sense? Questions so far? Questions, anything you are not clear about, please. So that's basic filters for Excel. So I assume, okay, Chika says she's lost. Where are you lost? Please, let's quickly give a wrap. Let's quickly wrap. Let's clear this. Clear filter. Where are you lost? Please unmute. Please unmute or type so that we are, because we are mindful of time. We're already halfway gone and we still have a long way to go. Please, where are you lost? What do I need to explain again? Okay, let me quickly run through what a filter does. So I say filters, is it filters or sorting? Do you get the idea of sorting, or just or is both of them, sorting and filtering, or just filters alone? Okay, both of them. So what I'm going to try and do is briefly explain what a sort does. I was using this example. If you see two people or three people going together that are siblings, they look alike, right? Without thinking, subconsciously, one of the first things you do is, this is the eldest, this is the probably the person in the middle, this is the youngest person, right? What you've just done there is you sorted them, right? And the same idea is what we do in Excel all the time. You, let's say you have a class and then you are interested in finding, who has the highest score in a particular subject. That's what you use sorting for. So, and then with the example we did here, so I said, let's say I'm only interested, or I want to see, I want to sort this data by date. So I want to see, okay, which was the earliest project that was commenced here. All I need to do is just select the entire data, or just put my cursor in the data and then click on data. Once I click on data, there is a sort and filter group, right? And then I click on sort. Now, if you click on sort, there is a dialog box that comes by, right? And then you can now do, okay, so for this particular illustration, we're only interested in the dates. So we want to see which projects were the oldest. So now you can see that my data has been sorted from the oldest, which is 8th November 2003, till the newest, which is 4th December. Now let's say, if you look here, you see that there is a small arrow showing sorting. This is what sorting looks like. Now, let's say I'm not interested so much in dates. Let's say I want to sort by progress, so status and then duration. I can also do data, sort and filter. Now, because there's already an active sort in place, so I'm going to do, so let's sort by, first of all, duration. So I want to know which projects are taking the longest, and then I want to now see the status. So I'm going to sort by status. Now, if I do click on OK, you would see now that it has resorted my data based on duration. Now you see the longest project is taking 20 days, which is the customer support address client queries. And then I've sorted also by progress. And I also mentioned that when you sort data, you always see a sign. So you can see there's a sign here showing descending, there's a sign here showing ascending. So that's basically how sort works. So it helps you organize data in a particular order, in a logical way. That's what sorting does for you. Now with filter, I was also saying that let's say I'm only interested in completed projects. I don't want to know anything about in progress or ongoing projects. I only want to see projects that have been completed. That is what you use a filter for. So the same way you sort, the same idea behind sort is also the idea behind filter. They are typically used together. Now, if you click on here, you see select all. Basically, this is how you use filters for the basic filtering method, of course. Now, I'm going to click on here and then check completed. Basically, what that means is I'm only selecting completed projects. So now you see that Excel hides all other records and then shows me only those that have been completed. And then if you look down here, you'd see 3 of 19 records found, meaning that only 3 projects or only 3 tasks here match that completed criteria. I hope it's clear now. And then we also looked at, let's say I'm interested in sorting by another criteria. So let's say I want to filter by costs that are less than £500. So I can also do the same thing and do number filter. So if you click here, you see there are different options. Top 10. We'll get to that when we get to conditional formatting. We'll do something similar. Then you can see equals to, greater than, less than or equals to. So let's say I'm interested in tasks that are less than or equal to £500, and then I click OK. You see now 8 of 19 tasks are either £500 and below. That's how sort and filters. That's how they work. Or sort and basic filters. Now, and please confirm that you are clear on this. Now, before we move to advanced filter. Advanced filters allow you something slightly differently, right? And what does that mean? So let's say I want a subset of my data, but I don't want my filtered data to what's the word? To hide any part of my major data. So you see now when we did filter earlier, it hid these filters. It hid every other thing that was not that we were not interested in. It hid them, right? Let me just show us again. When I did completed, you can see now that it hid everything that is not completed. Sometimes you don't want this behavior. You want to show your filter separately from your main data, right? That's where advanced filters come in. Please confirm you are, following. That's where advanced filters come in. So an advanced filter allows you to separate your filter from the data set. How do you do that? There's a little criteria here. When you want to use advanced filters, right, you must take note of three things: your source data, your criteria, and your destination. Those 3 things, without them, you can't use advanced advanced data, advanced filtering. So now we know our source data. This is our source data. This is our source data. This is the data we're interested in. But like I said, I did not want this data to be reduced for some reason, but I also want to filter it. So this is going to be my source data. Then I'm going to have to create a criteria, what I want to do. So now let's say I'm interested only in ongoing projects, right? Now, earlier, if I wanted to do ongoing projects, I just need to come here, select only ongoing projects. Now, with advanced filter, I need to separate that criteria. I need to separate it. Best practice, make sure it's on the same header, like the header is the same as your data source, but separate it so that it does not mix with the table, right? So now this is my criteria, and you can see I've put an arrow here. So that's the second part. Now the next thing will be the destination. The destination can be anywhere else apart from your source data and your status, where you put your status. So let's say my source data is this place. I want to put my data, I want to put my filter data here. Now, how do you use advanced filters? You come to the data source, the same data ribbon or the data tab. Now, under source and filter, you see advanced. Now you can see action, filter the list in place, copy to another location. Now, because you want to separate your filter data out, the first one will basically do the same thing we've done with basic filter, right? Now, I don't want that to happen. I want to copy this to another location. So I'm going to click copy to another location. Now, for my criteria, I'm going to use here. So I'm going to select the data from my criteria. And then under copy to, I'm going to select where I wanted to put my filter data. Now, you see, there's an option to put unique records only, but that's not what I'm interested in. All I want is just, I want to change, I want you to filter out data that only for ongoing projects. Now, if I click OK, you can see it brings out only ongoing projects. Only ongoing projects. That's basically how advanced filters work. Now, the thing with advanced filters is just much like with basic filters, you can have several criteria. You can have 3, 4, 5 criteria, right? So let's say I'm interested in seeing status completed. So I'm going to click, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to I'm going to change this to, let's say, 100%. So I'm going to change this to 100%. So now you can see that my status has changed, right? Because the formula we use here is that if M2 equals to 100%, put it as completed. If it is equal to 90, put it as in progress. Otherwise, put it as ongoing. So that was why there was ongoing there, because there was nothing here. Now I want to change this to completed, and then I'm going to put another. I want to filter this data to only show completed projects. So the same way, I'm going to go to data, advanced filter. Of course, it has automatically selected the list range for me, which is here. It has also selected the criteria range, right? Now, copy to another location. I'm going to click on location. I want you to copy to. I want you to copy to just below here. So I want you to copy it here. And I'm going to click OK. Now you can see only completed projects are showing up. Is it clear? Are we clear, please? What I've just done, I know it seems like a lot, but are we clear? Any questions? Questions. That's how I Questions? You have something?
No, it's clear.
All right then. Perfect. So now let's say there's another thing that we can do here. It's possible for me to want my filter to appear in another sheet. So I don't want it to be on this same sheet, right? Let's say I want it to be on this sheet, advanced filtering sheet. So one way, the exact same thing. I'm going to click on advanced filter. Now let's say for now, I'm now interested in. So I'm going to delete this a bit. I'm going to delete this for now, or let me add a column. So let me say I'm interested in survey duration, less than 10, less than 10 days, right? So you can see I've created another criteria here. So let's say I now want to put these two on another page. I'm going to click on data, advanced filtering. Now, criteria range A to K is currently showing K to K. So I want my criteria range to be here, J1 to K2. Now, copy to another location. Now, I want you to copy this. I want you to paste here. So let's say I want to paste it here and click OK. Now, you can see there's an error. You can only copy filtered data to the active sheet. What does this mean? It basically means that this sheet has to be the active sheet. This is the active sheet. Active sheet basically means where this cursor is placed. So if I want to paste an advanced filter query results to another sheet, I have to start from that sheet. So I'm going to click on data, advanced filter, copy to another location. So now what I'm going to do is my list range, I'm going to now come back here and then select the list, which is the original data we had. So I'm going to select this data. I'm going to select up to here. So that's that. Criteria range, the same thing. I'm going to come here, select my criteria range, which is that duration in days is less than 10 and status is completed. Then copy to, I'm going to now come here and click OK. Now you can see that it has filtered the data out on this new page based on those criteria. So now you can see that status is completed and duration is less than 10 days. Just the exact same way we have placed it here. You can see that both of these criteria have been used to filter these results. All right. I think that's where we put a stop for filter. We're already running out of time. We're still supposed to look at conditional formatting and data validation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my time. If by the time we are done, we are not able to cover everything, I will move data validation to next week. So we're going to look at conditional formatting now. What is conditional formatting? Conditional formatting is basically a way to highlight data based on certain criteria, right? So I want my data to look in a certain way because of a condition that I will set. That's basically what conditional formatting does in Excel. It helps you highlight something. And then we have put some activities for us to do here. So we need you to highlight format percentage completed. Format this. So this, right? Format this based on this. So format for 80% upward, format for between 40% and 79%, format for 39% downward. So we are going to start with this particular formatting. So how do you format? To format, you select the range you want to format. So as it is now, I've selected this range. That's range H. I'm going to select that. So now, of course, I need to think of, okay, so how do I want to format this? Typically, when you're formatting, especially when you're formatting numbers, when you're thinking of something around completion, you always say, okay, anything that is above, so maybe 80%, give it a green. Anything between 40 and maybe 79, give it yellow. Anything below 39, give it red. Of course, I'm just speaking. You could decide to use your formatting in any way and however you decide to want. So what I'm going to do is I've selected my data column that I want to format. Of course, you can decide to put the formatting on all of the data. And then I'm going to come to my home, and then you can see there's a styles group that has conditional formatting. And then what do you want to do? You want to maybe highlight. Now, because this is a number, I'm going to use the greater than rule, or that's the first criteria. Anything 80 and above. So I'm going to put 80%. So I want you to put 80% as green. Yeah. So green field with dark green text. So you can see 80% and above. Now, what this actually says is 80% upward. So this is not correct technically. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to click it again because it says 80 upward. So 80 is inclusive. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to click on greater than or equal to. Let's see, more rows. So based on their values, format style, no, this is not greater than let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's do that's greater than, let's do greater than 80 first. 80% green field would also do equal to 80 so that we can capture that 80 upwards, right? So I'm going to do this again. Equal to 80%. The same thing, green field. So you see now that before 80 was not highlighted. Of course, I can use the formula to do this, but I'm just showing an easier way to do it. Then you can see also between 40 and 79%. So the same way you come to home, conditional formatting, between, so what we'll do here is we'll do greater than or equal to 79, greater than or equal to 79, and less than or equal to 40. I'm just trying to between. So let's see. Format cells above or below, no, average, no. This would work. Format sets. Now this is also longer. Fill. So these are just different ways. So this one I want it to be yellow, sort of. font. Let's not go this route. This is what I've been looking for. So self-value greater than 79 should be greater than or equal to okay. Oh, did you just say greater than or equal to 79? Sorry. Insert conditional form. So I think this is where the confusion is coming from. It's less than or equal to 79. Sorry, 40% to 79. Less than or equal to 79%. So this will be yellow. Let's see where between 40 and 79%. So this is what we wanted. I want this to be yellow. So I'm going to have to go and delete that earlier one, which is formatting manage rules. So I'm going to need to delete this one. Delete. So still value between lie. Yes. So I'm now going to add a new rule. So less than the last one is less than. Let me just use. No. So let's add the last one. Let's say rules less than 40%. So this is the one I want to be red. Okay, so now we can see how you can use formatting. Now this you can do however you want to. It doesn't have to be exactly this way. You can play your way around all this, try and see who works for you. So that's basically how you format something like number. So let's say now, for instance, you want to format the department to show only those that are unique. This should be unique, that contains unique values. Let's just leave it. So let's say department. I want to format this conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. Text. Now this is text. Conditional formatting. Sorry, don't use this often. So sometimes you see something, but you use it often. But you don't even you are looking for it like when you don't use something often. So you can see format unique values or duplicate values. So what I want to do here is I want to highlight unique values here. Format is that I want it to be I want unique values to be like this. Text, and do the formatting in any way, right? So let's say okay. So now you can see unique values. I added this header, so that's why it's also changed. So you can see it has highlighted unique values for me. In the same way, I could have changed that to show duplicate values, right? And that's how you format for text. That's how one of the ways you can format for text. So let's say I'm interested in highlighting only the last 7 days. So let's say I'm interested in the last 7 days, right? This is the date. Of course, this will only apply to dates. So I'm going to highlight again. I'm going to highlight, click on home, conditional formatting, dates. So there is a date occurring. So date occurring yesterday. So you see, in the last 7 days, I want you to do this. Let's do yellow. Yes. So you can see I formatted the last 7 days. So by tomorrow, okay, tomorrow is 25, it will still be. So if I come back and open this file next week, this 20th February will no longer be yellow because next week's date will be March and 20th February will be more than 7 days. So it will no longer be yellow. So this has implications. So let's say you have data sets where you are really, really interested in data over the past 7 days. You want to use it for something really critical. So you can use this kind of highlighting rule to let you see at one glance, okay, past 7 days. Of course, you can always modify the rules. Then let's say costs. Lastly, let's look at cost. So let's say we want to do average, anything that is above the average cost here. So of course, you can see that the average here is about £1,700. So let's say we want to highlight any project or any task that is above average. Now you can see immediately I click on that. Yeah, I wanted to show it as a warning. So now you can see any cost that is above average of the others, then highlight it for me. So yeah, I think that'll be how far we can go today. I don't know if you have any questions. But I want to believe this was really helpful, helps you understand some of the basic things you do when you are when you work with a lot of data. These are the simple things you do or you need to do: highlighting and filtering, conditional formatting. What's that other thing? Sorting. You do that all the time, depending on how your requirements are for the data. So yeah, any questions? Let's quickly look at data validation before we go into our agenda for the day. So let's quickly so look at sorting complete, filtering complete, validation rules, we've not done that. So but we've looked at conditional formatting. Yes, so next week we're going to look at data validation, and yeah, if time permits, custom formatting rules. Then we'll look to the other the work for next week, which is now using Excel for modeling and forecasting. It's going to be really interesting. If you have friends, please make sure they join us for next week's session. A big thank you to everyone who's been a part of today's class. I really appreciate your coming here to learn. And of course, the meeting will be available hopefully before the end of the day on YouTube, and I'll share the link with us. But of course, if you are following the YouTube channel already, if you have your notifications on, you'll get notification as soon as I upload it. So I would encourage you to follow and then turn on notifications, so that as soon as I upload the video for today, it's you are notified. So I'll see you again next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening.